Alright, so this week we watched Fellini Satyricon from 1969. It's on the list because it's from a director that I haven't seen before, Federico Fellini. It's classified as a fantasy drama, got 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, and is just over 2 hours long. I have no idea what to say about this. Oh my god. A lot of these movies I've been doing screenings in Discord servers for friends, just to be like, hey, I gotta watch this movie that's culturally significant. Who wants in on this? Who wants to watch a fun action thing? Who wants to watch some kung fu? I looked at a list of potential triggers for this and said, maybe this is best not shared with other people. I did watch it with two people, and when I showed them both the list, both of them sent me a screen cap of, is there cannibalism? Yes, but it's consensual. Because apparently we all have that sort of sense of humor that cracks us up. So this film is ostensibly set in ancient Rome. It's based off of a piece of Roman writing that is partially lost and very fragmented. It's hard to really piece together exactly when this is meant to take place. So the original writing takes place in, I want to say, the 3rd century BC, even though it was written in the 1st century AD. But also, they have a Caesar, they have an emperor, and also none of the visuals make sense. And I have to believe that that's intentional. Federico Fellini, he's Italian. He's been to Rome, he knows what Rome is about. He lived through Mussolini. He knows all this stuff. He's seen the aesthetic. He knows what this is supposed to look like. And every set piece in this movie feels like something that's from a nightmare almost. You know when you have a dream and you're like, I went to the store. It didn't look like the store. It was very different from the store. But in my dream I knew it was the store. That's what this is. This is set in Rome, and you know that it's supposed to be Rome, but also it doesn't look a thing like Rome. This block of apartments, which is apparently subterranean somehow, exists for some reason. You couldn't get these boats from an actual prop department without telling them, hey, Roman boats? Forget it. I want something fucked up and spiky. And so these are very intentional visuals meant to convey that this is not an accurate picture, which, if you were under the impression that this was an accurate picture of Rome, I don't know what to tell you. They go to an art museum, an actual museum of here's old art, and I swear to God, one of the pieces on the wall was just cuneiform. I'm that's just writing. That's the Roman equivalent of getting, I don't know, live, laugh, love on your wall. The plot of the film, like I said, it's based off of an ancient Roman writing. Apparently Fellini read it while he was recovering from something in the hospital, and he thought it was interesting, so he wanted to take a jab at it. You got your main character, Encolpius, you got his rival, Aciltus, and it's just about these two guys who are apparently good buddies, except they are on the rocks, because Aciltus stole Encolpius's... This is Rome. He stole his boy slave, who he loves, and sold him to a theater company. And so, the main thrust of the plot originally is just, I gotta get my beloved boy slave back. And he does it, but oh my god. And they just go from place to place having the worst time. That's what it is. A series of bad things happen to all of these characters. The visuals are striking, of course. I mean, they'd have to be. Like I said, they look like something that came out of a literal nightmare. When I watched the early 2000s Call of Cthulhu movie, and they did their best to try to depict what a nightmare of a city that Cthulhu sleeps in, that looked kind of like this. Everything was big and stark and blocky, with imposing megalithic structures and features. Things that are too big, things that just geometrically don't make sense. And then you have this. There's a scene where they walk out into a hallway, they look down, and there's just a giant head with a group of people that appear to be pulling it down the hall. And then they just walk off the other side of the hallway. We never see that again. Somebody built a giant head for this, and they only used it for that one scene. God, what was the production cost on this thing? Yeah, the budget on this was only $3 million. How did they get all this? How did they pull all this off with only $3 million? Also, there were a lot of matte paintings, just so many matte paintings. I'm seeing all these skylines, and I'm like, this sky does not actually exist in real life. Somebody painted this, and they're standing in front of it with a little bit of a hill in front of them. Like, that's it. But you know what? It might be cheaper than running out somewhere and finding the location to film on. God, the art of a good matte painting is lost. Yeah, there's a lot of just open debauchery in this. You would expect that from Rome. There's a lot of nudity, which again you expect from Rome.
Nudity.
At one point, they mixed up the Greek gods and the Roman gods. They were like, oh, this person's the child of Hermes and Aphrodite, and I'm like, these are Romans. That's the child of Mercury and Venus. I don't know, maybe they traveled to Greece. Like I said, that's just, the plot is these people going from place to place and having bad things happen to them. Like, honest to God, there's a section of movie that deals with the protagonist trying to overcome erectile dysfunction with spanking. He's like laying down and he's like, cure me, and the people just start spanking him, and I'm like, okay, alright, early medicine, I guess. Sure, why not? Towards the start of the film, there's like a play that's being put on, and I'm like, okay, so they're like doing a play, and they over the course of the play cut off somebody's arm, and I'm like, wow, okay, so this is one of those things that's supposed to, I guess, inform us of the value of human life in this particular depiction of Rome, because they're just willing to cut off somebody's arm for entertainment. Involve me in that show. I am not playing along, I am running. I don't know, this guy just went with it. There's, of course, a whole lot of slavery, because it's Rome. The protagonist and his rival end up at one point getting just grabbed and taken as slaves, because they were just wrong place at the wrong time. And part of me is like, I'm glad that I watched this thing, because the visuals are bananas. I'm just gonna say it again. Visually, very interesting. Striking movie from a visual standpoint. But also, I happen to know that one of his other movies that I could have just as easily picked is usually rated amongst the top, 20 best films of all time. It's also very long, but maybe I would have had a little more fun watching 8.5. I can't say for sure. I haven't watched it yet. Like I said, this made it onto the list because it was from a director I had seen nothing from before, but all I know is, 75% of the time when I see people walk into the Criterion Closet, they are grabbing that Fellini box set. And so I was like, I should put Fellini on here. Yeah, can I recommend this? Will I recommend this? I don't know that I will recommend this. If you want to see something with absurd visuals, much historical inaccuracy, and asses out all over the place, sure, give this a watch. If you're just looking to watch something by Fellini like I was, and you're not prepared to deal with 2 hours of, frankly, fragmented, nonsensical story at points, I don't know, maybe 8.5 is better your speed, I don't know. And the ship sails on. That also looked like a good watch. What I'm saying is, this is probably, as I understand, far from the best thing in his catalog, but I see why it's included in the collection, and I understand the historical significance. It did win awards. While it doesn't capture the historical accuracy of Rome, it maybe captures the essence of Rome as a place of hedonism and violence and political upheaval and slavery and honestly also metropolitanism. They do manage to get a somewhat diverse cast. So they got that going for it. And I don't know, the fact that the original guy was writing about ancient Rome 400 years removed from it, I'm sure he got things wrong too. So for Fellini to just be like, whatever, the visuals don't matter, we'll do whatever the fuck we want that looks cool, it works. The Wikipedia page has a quote from Fellini biographer Parker Tyler, who apparently declared the film, quote, the most profoundly homosexual movie in all history. Which, when did he say that? 1988. Pink Flamingos was already out. You have no excuse, sir. But yeah, I don't know. Give this one a watch. Don't give this one a watch. It depends on your tastes and exactly how much nonsense you can put up with. A casual segue into what are we going to watch next time. 3, 2, 1, and go! Alright, off they go down into the Horse Plinko. Stuck behind the gate. The gated community is now accessible. Ooh. Oh, funky. Okay, that's interesting. Out front, Repo Man and 3 women. Repo Man out front. Never mind, 3 women is gone. Those things have flipped over. Dead Calm is dead. The Killers is dead. Repo Man way out front, followed by Cold is My Passport. Phantom of the Monastery, 7 Samurai, Velvet Vampire. Doom Generation has plummeted, so has never weakened. Repo Man went too far and flew off into the abyss. What a fun course. So yeah, Phantom of the Monastery out front now. Possibly the oldest thing on my list. Mr. Hulo's Holiday. There goes Occult is My Passport. There goes Mr. Hulo's Holiday. Alright. Phantom of the Monastery. After Hours is plummeting. Wow. This is a deadly, deadly course. They are in the coils. What's going to come out first? Looks like the Phantom of the Monastery still out front. Will you be able to pass through this comb? Yeah. Oh, 7 Samurai. Sneaking past while it gets stuck on the comb. Cecil B. Demented has flown over the edge. Oh god, I'm getting 7 Samurai. Yeah, it's alright, well, 7 Samurai has crossed over in first place, followed by Phantom of the Monastery. Fabulous Baron Munchausen has landed, as has The Sweet Smell of Success. The Velvet Vampire, A Man Escaped. Here comes Fear City, and my favorite software is Being Here. Charade coming in next, followed by 3 Women. The Hit and Teorema are coming in. Teorema, of course, is just, I believe, Italian for theory. And Repo Man is stuck. Are you making it? Can you do it? Repo Man? Or will you catch fire? The fire is fast approaching. Oh, it's going to be definitely a photo finish on it if it crosses the finish. It's done! Okay. And our winner officially, the 7 Samurai. Oh boy. Okay. Let's pull up my movie list to see what's going on here. Alright. 7 Samurai, number 6 on the list, came out in 1954. It is on the list because it's from John Turturro's Adventures in Moviegoing. We all know it. It's directed by Akira Kurosawa. It is the highest rated movie on my list at 8.6 out of 10. It also is one of the longest at 207 minutes. Did I say one of? It might actually straight up just be the longest. Yeah, 7 Samurai. Actually the longest. The previous thing that I watched that was long was Saladin the Victorious. 7 Samurai blows it out of the water by a whole 20 more minutes. Oh boy. Okay.